Hello and welcome to GllyChx. Today we're in the galley. I'm going to show you how to make a great mussel dish. It's going to be mussels in a curry cream with fennel and fresh apples. Apples are in season right now. I got these from my friend who has a beautiful heirloom apple tree. My pan is nice and hot, and I'm going to start with just a knob of butter. So these mussels are from Penn Cove, which is up in Washington, and they're actually farmed, but they're farmed out in the Sound. It's pretty cool. I went up there once and saw the big, huge platforms, and hanging from them are all these, I don't know, ropes that the mussels are on, and that's how they farm them. Mussels cling on to rocks. That's their habitat. Sometimes on the Oregon coast, if the tides are right, you can go pluck your own mussels right off the rocks. The one thing you want to remember is that they have this beard. This is how they are attached to the rocks. So before you cook them, you want to rinse them off and scrub off any barnacles if there are any. These are nice and clean. And then you just want to pull the beard out. We've just started with butter, onions, and then I have some fresh fennel here. I'm just going to put that in. Fennel has a licoricey flavor. It's like celery in texture, but it's a little denser, and it's really good for digestion if you ever have a upset stomach or something. Fennel's a great thing to eat. I learned that when I was a little kid. We had a really neat thing. My mom had always had produce delivered to her in a truck, and her produce man was still delivering produce when we were kids, but only to about 10 families. So once a week he would show up with his truck, and he'd unfold all these canvas curtains and have all his produce out there, and we could come and pick what we wanted, and he'd always try to turn us on to new things. So I think that was my first taste of fennel, was from Mr. Amato. Then we're gonna let that saute for a little bit. Add the shallots. And I wanna add a little bit of salt, because the salt brings out the moisture and lets them cook a little faster. And then I'm gonna add some apples that are just diced. Then I just have basic curry powder that I got from the bulk spice bin. When you're buying spices, it's great to buy them. I like to buy them in the bulk bins. It's a lot less expensive, and B, you can control how much you want. And since spices aren't really at their peak of freshness very long, then it's a good idea to buy them in bulk, so you can buy just a little amount for what you're cooking, and then it's fresh and it tastes a lot better. And then we will add the wine. So when you're cooking with wine, it's always good to cook with something that you yourself would want to drink. If you ever have leftover wine, which doesn't happen very often in my house, that's something you can also use for cooking. So now it's been at a good boil for a few minutes. The liquid's starting to reduce, the vegetables are softening up, and I'm gonna add the heavy cream. Now we're gonna add the mussels, and then we'll just let them simmer. So when you're going through the mussels, if any of them are cracked, you don't wanna use those because they're probably dead. Come up to a low simmer, and I'm just going to put a lid on it, and that should make the mussels cook a little quicker and kind of steam them at the same time. So it's been about 5 minutes, and it looks like they're really close to done. See how they've started to open up here? It smells so good. So it looks like we have a couple that didn't open. And you definitely don't want to eat those because it means they're dead, or rather they were dead before you put them in the pot. So now these are all open and ready to serve. I'm just going to set them down here. I'm going to use this ladle so we can get not only the mussels but all of that great sauce and the vegetables and the apples. I'm ready to try one. So you probably want to serve these with a fork and a spoon, and lots of good bread to dip up the sauce. Thank you for joining me on GllyChx. Go to our website, GllyChx.com, and you will find all of these delicious recipes and more to help you live a more fabulous and delicious lifestyle in a small space.